finally decided to get on the hype train with Rhode beauty products. I have been kind of hearing a lot of mixed reviews about them as of late, but I've always been like super curious, so I ended up picking up quite a few. I do know that I really do enjoy the Peptide Lip Balm. Like, I find it very soothing. But there are some other products like the Peptide Glazing Fluid, the very infamous Pocket Blush, and the tinted version of the Peptide Lip Balms, and then finally the Peptide Lip Shape. I think these are supposed to be like contour. They're contour type lip pencils, and I'm very, very intrigued about this one as well. So I'm gonna dive into these products and see if Rhode is actually worth the hype. I kind of prepped my skin, well, kind of a little bit. I actually washed my face and I just put on a hydrating toner. So I'm gonna actually use the Rhode Glazing Fluid as, I guess, the last step of the skincare portion before I start actually putting on the makeup and primer, and hope that it is a nice base. So I got like the mini version, and that is how the container looks like. I actually like that it has that nozzle, less contamination. And let's see if I can get some of this product out. So that's the consistency of the fluid, which is just, I'm assuming, to be a really light moisturizer that's not going to make you look extra dewy, but give you some hydration. And it's always good to have some moisture and hydration on the skin prior to makeup. The makeup looks better, and you just don't have that sensation of wanting to, I don't know, claw your face off afterwards. I guess first impressions, it feels nice. Feels nice. Really refreshing, and I guess it's not too tacky. I'm gonna add just a couple of more dollops to it. One thing I love using moisturizer. I have so many. I'm low-key obsessed with moisturizer, so my skin is getting drier as I age, so it is always a benefit, and I'm always looking on the more hydrating side of things as far as skincare. I'm pressing in the moisturizer a little bit more, and I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. So far, I really like this. I'll give her 10s for this. I like the Peptide Glazing Fluid so far. And I do feel like it has a little bit of plumpness. It added a little bit of plumpness into my face so far, which is really nice. I'm going to actually use Danessa Myricks for my primer. This is the Yummy Skin Primer, and I really like the texture of this. Just gonna get a couple of drops. I should probably let the Peptide Glazing Fluid kind of sit on my skin a little bit longer, but I'm just raring to go. I want to get into this stuff, so I'm just gonna hastily just throw on this primer and let's get this ball going. Let's get everything on the go. I like to get the T-zone. I have combination to dry skin, and unfortunately I do break out and it's irritating. Don't know how else to say it. Now I got the primer, and I'm going to use Haus Labs foundation as my base. Unfortunately, Rhode does not have, as far as I know, any foundation products yet. I know the line is still kind of developing and new, so maybe Hailey Bieber or whoever is the director for Rhode now will in the future kind of test maybe a skin tint to kind of go with like the clean girl or just the more minimalist kind of aesthetic that this brand seems to kind of adhere to. So I'm going to use my e.l.f. brush, and I'm going to use some of Haus Labs foundation, and I'm going to get a nice even base. And I feel like because this is a more skincare infused type of foundation, it kind of goes along, at least I hope it will pair well with the Rhode products. I'm not too sure about the consistency. I'm very curious about the blush in particular, because a lot of brown and dark skin girlies have been saying that is such a beautiful terracotta. but maybe the staying power is kind of lacking a little bit. But I never really got the sense that this is supposed to be heavy makeup. This is very much kind of quick throw on makeup. That's the vibe that Rhode gives me. Really quick touch up type stuff, regular day errand type stuff. And I do like the focus on the skincare elements, and I love using peptides. I went and put on the rest of my face, kind of. I did a little bit of base, so House Labs concealer as well. Did just very, very minimal eye makeup. The next Rhode product I'm going to use is the little pocket blush. I got Toasted Teddy. I've seen quite a bit of reviews on this, and I thought it would be a great color for me. This is very tiny, so the name is fitting. I'm going to push it up a wee bit, and I'm assuming you just apply straight onto the face. I know that's not the most hygienic thing to do, but okay, I like that terracotta. That's a much deeper terracotta than I thought. I thought it would swatch so much fairer. Like, let me see if the camera can pick that up. It seems pretty, you know. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna go back in, I think, with the same brush that I used before for my foundation, and I'm going to blend out that blush a little bit. Okay, so it does get quite sheer once you blend it down. And I know too, the brush might be picking up on quite a bit of product. So diffusing it out, it's very, very faint. But I do like the color, it's pretty. The formula does feel kind of hydrating, but it's definitely something you have to layer. Again, initially it swatches really dark, but it is very sheer. I wonder if I can just use my fingers and then pat a little bit to keep some of that color intact. I think it's very, very pretty. I like it. I can tell that this is something that is probably not gonna last very long. So it probably like be up in smoke in like a couple of hours, but definitely if you're doing a quick errand run, I can see the appeal of this, but the color is really, really pretty. I do like that. I like the feel of it too. The lip products, which I was the most excited about. As I said, I actually used the Peptide lip balm before. I actually have it here off camera. Yes, so I have the Rhode lip treatment. Peptide lip treatment, and I have it in the flavor strawberry glaze. I pretty much use this like every morning before I go to work, and usually if you put 1 or 2 coats, it lasts you a pretty good bit. I don't know if I've noticed any long-term benefits as far as like my lip texture looking younger, but I do find that I have less chapped lips because my lips really be ashy. So I actually do think it kind of helps a little bit, but it's not the only lip product I use, but it is the one I frequently use day to day. So I actually got the color Espresso, which looks really gorgeous, and I got the lip pencil, which they refer to as the Peptide Lip Shape, and it's supposed to be a contour, and I got it in the deepest shade, which is Mauve. Now, I've heard some really interesting reviews about this. Interesting in not necessarily a positive way. Some people say that it's very flimsy, but we'll see. So that's it straight out the package. It's very deep tone. Let's see what it looks like on the lips. Okay, so going on, very pigmented. Not really having any problem with the color per se. I don't know if I was to put a lot more pressure. I was really using a light hand because, as I said, I came across some reviews and it sounded like it would break very easily, like it's very soft. It does feel like if you really to apply pressure, it would break off completely, but I can say at least it went on smoothly, and it is very pigmented. So there's supposed to be an end that is like supposed to help you with the shading. It's like this silicone shaper, and I think it's supposed to help feather it out, soften it out a little bit. So I'm just trying to smudge along it here. Man, my lips feel really dry right now. I can't wait to put on the lip Peptide. So that's how it looks. It looks pretty pigmented. I am now really looking forward to Espresso. Okay. Yeah. Very nice. So that is it straight on out the tube. Not really getting much of a smell with this one, but it is an espresso. Espresso is typically not the most sweet smelling thing, you know, but color wise, real nice. I'm going to just put on a little bit of powder, and I'm just going to give you my final thoughts on what I think about Rhode. Do like a final review and recap of the Rhode products. I would say right off the bat, what I like the most is probably the Peptide Glazing Fluid. It actually does feel really nice on the skin. It's light, but it's not overpowering. Definitely has like a little pumping effect, for sure. I think as well, what I really do like is actually the Peptide tinted lip tint or lip treatment, whatever you call it. I got the color Espresso. I actually really enjoy their peptide treatment, the non-colored one. As I said, I use pretty much the strawberry glaze like every single day, so I pretty much knew that I was gonna like this too. I think Toasted Teddy is a really beautiful terracotta, absolutely brown girl and dark skin girl friendly. I don't know about the staying power. I did put on just a little bit of finishing powder just to kind of lock everything in a little bit, and I'm hoping that I will catch a little bit of footage with me with this on for a little bit later and just see the staying power of the blush. But definitely for a quick errand and you have the money to burn, you can, but I'm sure there's other formulas that probably are more pigmented and longer lasting. But I can tell you, it feels nice, doesn't feel overly tacky. I do like the color. It shears out very quickly and very fast, so you definitely have to pile it on a little bit, but it's beautiful. And I'm kind of up in the air as far as the Peptide Lip Shape. The color, I have no problems. I like the color. I like how deep it is. And I think a lot more dark-skinned women or girls would absolutely really like this. As far as the staying power for it as well, I don't know. So I'm gonna test that out. But as far as the integrity of the pencil itself, it does feel kind of soft, which can be a good thing, but also a bad thing, because if you're applying a lot of pressure, I feel like it would break very quickly. I was using a very light hand with it. The silicone applicator side of it, I don't know if it did much as far as smudging, but I guess that is a nice additional feature if you care for it. But overall, I think the reigning champ is this. I really do enjoy this moisturizer a lot. So I hope this was helpful to you if you are one of the last people that have not tried Rhode, because it seems like everybody in the makeup community has tried Rhode already. But if you were curious and you wanted to see it on dark skin, you know, this is what it looks like. So as far as if I'm going to try any other additional products, I am kind of curious about her hydrating spray. As I said, I really love skincare that has a focus on hydration. I love Korean beauty, for example. So I might try that. But outside of that, I don't know if there's really much else. I'm kind of hoping that maybe down the line, Rhode will have come out with a formula of a skin tint and really put some thought and care into it, and then have a wide variety of shades. as far as I know, there's not one available, at least on the Canadian side of things. So that would be something I look forward to, and maybe some actual like lipsticks with like some built-in skincare ingredients that could help improve the shape of the lip or the texture of the lips over time, like the lip treatments. But you let me know your thoughts and if you tried any Rhode stuff and how did you find it. Till the next video.